Hello everyone, welcome back. This is part 4 of the cross stitch tutorials. Now this one's going to be a little bit more fun than the other ones because we've gone through stamped cross stitches or stamped cross stitch kits, how to cross stitch in full crosses, then we went through accessories in the last video, and this one is going to be all about patterns, where to buy PDF patterns. The shops that I recommend personally, you don't have to buy from these shops, but they're just things that I recommend personally. And then last of all, we're going to do Facebook groups, which I personally recommend. I've got 4 online shops. One of them that I know of is a physical shop too, and these shops sell PDF patterns, they sell kits, they sell fabric, and they sell floss. I think all of them do. So the first one up, we've got Jobby, which is a new one for me personally. If you've seen my floss tube videos, I recently bought some Nurge frames from there because they were the best price anywhere. They also gave me a free small little kit of cross stitch pattern of a pineapple that I used in a giveaway. And their prices are really, really good. They do at the minute have a sale. There'll be pictures throughout this video that I'll show you with the screen, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this video this week, because at the minute it's currently Black Friday week. So if you're looking for some sort of cross stitch pattern or any accessories, now's the time to get them while they're cheaper. So Jobby is a great one to look at. They have a vast majority of items there. There's so much on that website that I haven't actually looked at all yet, but the patterns that I saw, the actual kits, so we've spoke about kits before where you buy the kit and it comes with the pattern, the fabric and the floss. Their kits actually have a QR code on them. It looks like all of them do, but don't quote me on that, you might have to double check. Where you scan the QR code and the pattern comes up as a PDF form on your phone. So for somebody like me that uses Pattern Keeper, that tends to avoid kits because not a lot of them come with a PDF form, that's a great option. Now the second shop is called Love Crafts. They're very similar to Jobby. They have really good prices. They do a lot of organisation things like bobbin boxes, but they also do cross stitch kits and cross stitch patterns. They do currently have a sale on at the minute, so I would definitely suggest checking them out as well. I haven't bought off there for a while, but I have personally bought off there before. I bought a Dimensions kit off there before, I think, and it was perfect. Like the transaction and everything was fine, delivery was fine, and all of that. Then the third one you've got is the one that does have a physical store in the UK. So it's called Hobbycraft. I'm sure everybody knows that lives in the UK knows Hobbycraft. It's kind of like similar to the bigger stores in the US that they have over there. For us, there's loads and loads of different things there. You can also find diamond paintings there. And online, they also have cross-stitch patterns that you can download. Now, there's not a lot of choice on Hobbycraft, but they have the more well-known cross-stitch patterns. So they have like Dimensions, for instance. They have a lot of them. So it's worth having a look. But they also have, another reason why I want to recommend Hobbycraft is they have these teeny tiny little starter cross stitches that I think would be perfect for anybody wanting to move on. If you've already started a stamp cross stitch and you want to move on to a counted one, they would be perfect. And at the minute they're about £1.30 each. So it's worth going to your local store if you can't find them online if you're in the UK. As far as postage overseas, I don't know about that. It would be something that you'd have to check out for where you are. But Hobbycraft is another really good shop to take a look at. The last one on my list is Lakeside Needle. Now, most people in the UK that cross stitch are quite well known. Most people in the UK know Lakeside Needle that cross stitch already. They're probably one of the most popular places to buy things like fabric from and your floss, your DMC floss. But they also do patterns, so it's definitely worth checking them out. They are reasonably priced. I haven't purchased from them in a long time, so I can't say how the customer service and things like that are, but it's definitely one to look at as well. And I think that now for the second part of this video, this is my most favourite part. It's shops that have PDF patterns, like pretty much that's all they have. And these are the shops that I have bought from before. So the first one, I have got my phone with me because I want to tell you the list of artists that these people have. So the first one that I really, really recommend is Thread Geeks. Now I'll put a picture of their homepage, but Thread Geeks stock Anne Stokes, Alchemy England, Spiral Direct Limited, Ennis Guerrero, Micah Gelina, Zindi SD, Simona Candini, Bill Bell, Linda Ravenscroft, Jasmine Beckett Griffith, Sarah Richter, Will Shrike, Rebecca Sins, and many, many more. And they honestly do have so many good licensed cross-stitch patterns there. And recently I've noticed that they now do budget kits. So they have some really good priced kits for newcomers to cross-stitch. I think you can get a pattern, your fabric and your floss for about £35 on some of them kits. Or under, actually. I think some of them are under. But if you want PDF patterns, that is a brilliant place to shop. I always look there. My Venom is actually from Thread Geeks. I'll put a picture up here to remind you what that looks like. That's from Thread Geeks, and that is by Will Shrike, I think. I think it is. Highly, highly recommend Thread Geeks. They're a lovely shop to look at, and if you like things like Ennis Guerrero, you will love that shop. So the second shop that I have to recommend to you is Unconventional Cross Stitch. Now I've just reloaded their website. I'll put a picture of their homepage, what it looked like yesterday, but their homepage has changed this morning to a cross stitch sale. So for Black Friday and Cyber Monday this year, there's 20% off patterns, 15% off kits, 20% off needle minders, and 10% off fabric, which is amazing. I'm actually going to have to go and look at these because 20% off PDF patterns is nice. But Unconventional Cross Stitch have people like Christopher Lavelle. If you're a diamond painter and you're fans of DAC, you know exactly who Christopher Lavelle is. They have, and this is the great thing about cross stitch, can I just say, like, I'm going to go off on a tangent quickly, but this is the great thing about cross stitch is if you're a diamond painter now and you're looking at cross stitch, there is so much art that you will see that you will probably never see in a diamond painting. They have, does anybody remember Fire Drake that was discontinued from DAC? That's on there, and I know it is because I'm so tempted to buy it, which actually I might do now that sale is on. But they don't just have Christopher Lavelle, they have plenty of other artists. Unconventional Cross Stitch is another brilliant licensed artist website that you should 100% check out. Third one is for the people that I would personally say that have already cross-stitched and want to invest in a like one-time special piece, is how I would put it, just because they are expensive. And this one is Gecko Rouge. Now the reason why I say that is because they only come in kits. You cannot buy just the PDF pattern, it has to be a full kit, but your money is it's worth the money, is what I say, because not only are you getting it all lovely fully in a nice fully kit, someone's standing there and organising all these threads for you. You get lovely fabric, you get a nice presentation box. It is worth the money, and the DMC it comes with DMC thread. So DMC thread is more expensive anyway, like we discussed in the accessories video. It's more expensive than CXC thread. So in my eyes, it's worth the money, but I wouldn't recommend it to people that have just started out. Have a browse, have a look, see what you like, see if there's anything there that you like. I would have said they stopped Medusa Doll Maker, but unfortunately that'll be ending soon. I think they're still on there right now, but they have lots of other lovely artists on there. And if you want to, say for Christmas you want to buy yourself a present, or you want to buy a loved one a cross-stitch present, Gecko Rouge would be perfect for that, because they come in such a nice presentational box and it looks beautiful and everything's there ready for you to go. So I would recommend them if you wanted to buy a special gift for somebody or yourself, but for somebody that's starting off, I would maybe wait a little bit. So the next one I have is Long Dog Samplers. Now Long Dog Samplers do not do full coverage, but I'm sure people will know who they are. They do giant samplers. Now I have one, I'll put a picture of the one that I have, called Ragnarok. I have the pattern, but I haven't started it. For me, I'm not a fan of samplers that much, but I will do something like this. I think this is really cool. I just don't like it when things have the alphabet through them. It's not my personal thing. But if you're after something like that, then I definitely recommend that. And the good thing about Long Dog samplers is you pick, pretty much most people just pick one colour and they'll stitch the entire pattern with just that one colour. So you could do something like a variegated floss, which we didn't discuss in the accessories one, but a variegated floss is when the thread changes colour as it goes. So one bit will be blue, then it will lead into purple, pinks, reds, something like that. Variegated floss is beautiful. And I would like to do my Long Dog sampler with variegated floss when I actually get around to stitching it. But if that type of chart interests you, 100% recommend Long Dog samplers for anything like that. Next one on my list is Paine Free Crafts. Now Paine Free Crafts have cross stitch designs, needle minders, fabric, thread, I can never say thread properly, ready to ship cross stitch kits and charts, accessories, gift vouchers, knit and crochet yarns and patterns. So they have an awful lot and their patterns are beautiful. Their rendering is beautiful. I have I think 2 or 3 Paine Free Craft ones. I believe my Anne Stokes is, let me just check. I'll actually take a look at the artists for you while I'm here. So they have people like Anne Stokes, Barrett Biggers, Bridget Ashwood, Chris Dunn, which is one of the ones that I bought, Jasmine Beckett Griffith, Katie Lipscomb, if you've ever seen any diamond paintings with hers, they're lovely. Laurie Prindle, she's a lady that does a lot of horses. So they have an awful lot of really good licensed people as well. And again, once you get into the artwork of cross stitch, you'll be amazed at how many beautiful pieces you're going to find. Now the next one needs no introduction at all. It's Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm pretty sure even if you've never cross stitched before, you're going to know exactly who Heaven and Earth Designs is. They are now venturing into the diamond painting world for the last couple of years. They've been doing like blank canvases and giving you, I think, not always blank canvases now, is it? They do the canvas but not the drills. Heaven and Earth needs no introduction really. They are the biggest cross stitch company, I think, and they've been going around since 2002. I have loads of their patterns. I actually bought another one a few weeks ago, planning on showing you how to use Pattern Keeper. I'll put the picture of the one that I bought by Amy Stewart. It's absolutely beautiful, but I don't think I'm going to show you how to use that with Pattern Keeper because it's somebody else's chart. So I think when I come around to, if you want a video on how to use Pattern Keeper, I'm more than happy to do it, but I think I will use one of my own cross stitch charts from Etsy because I don't want to show somebody else's pattern, if that makes sense. So we'll do it that way. But if you want a full coverage, tons of colours, mega expansion, so your pictures like this big, Heaven and Earth Designs is where you need to go. I will say you will get overwhelmed with how many artists they have and how many cross stitch patterns they have. So you will not see everything in one day. I will recommend the Facebook group, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, to join before you buy anything from Heaven and Earth Designs because it is very overwhelming. I was very overwhelmed when I first went on that store. So just wait for the other part of the video to listen about Heaven and Earth Designs a bit more. This one I can't really show you anything because it is Etsy. Now I will say with Etsy, I know I'm going to be quite contradicting to myself because I sell patterns on Etsy, cross stitch patterns. But I will say, if you've never bought a cross stitch pattern before, don't buy one off Etsy because it's so difficult. It's difficult in the fact of finding a pattern that's actually going to be good and how to download your pattern. So Etsy, you cannot download a digital product off of Etsy's app. You have to go onto the main desktop version of it, so through Google, or if you're on a phone, the best way to do it is go onto Google, click the little 3 dots at the top and go down to desktop mode, because if you don't and you have the Etsy app installed, it will constantly try and flip you back to the app. You can't install it. The amount of people that buy my patterns and tell me that they can't install it, and I end up having to send it in emails anyway because they just can't understand how to get it to download. It's annoying, it's really annoying. And the other thing about Etsy is obviously it's people like myself that create these patterns, but they're not always good. So you get a lot of pattern farms, is what we call them, in the cross stitch community, where people will just pump out patterns and just put them on Etsy. They haven't checked them. There's a lot of issues with them, and a lot of these are full coverage pieces, so people don't know until they start stitching them. But what I would say is I recommend one shop that I have been looking at lately, and it's called Dac. Now, they have a massive reputation in the cross stitch community, and I picked them because they're small patterns most of the time, small-ish. They're not full coverage. Here is a picture of one of them that I found yesterday that I actually think is really cute. But with patterns like that, if you look at the picture, the fabric is dyed, it's hand-dyed fabric. So it might not be for a beginner, but as you progress into the realm of hand-dyed fabrics and doing all these really cutesy pictures, Dac and places like that will be your best bet. But for now, my recommendations, if you see anything on Etsy that you really, really like, is go through the reviews, go through the description, see how long this shop has been up for versus how many sales they've got, how many reviews they've got. You know, just take a bit of time before you jump into a pattern on there, because I've bought quite a few myself as a buyer, and they don't work on Pattern Keeper, which I can't use. The pattern paper charts are completely rubbish. Like they're just rubbish, or the symbols don't load properly, or the pattern doesn't make any sense. So just be careful. Another good thing to do is to look in the description for the sizing. So if, like me, when I sell on my Etsy shop, if you go through any of my descriptions on my cross stitches, it will give you tons of sizes and different counts of fabric. That's what you want to look for. You want to look for somebody that's took the time to show you all the different sizes in different fabrics, especially on a full coverage piece. Because you don't want to be buying a pattern and then you realise it's this big and that's not what you wanted. So yeah, I really recommend caution with Etsy, but it is, if you know what you're doing, it is a great place to find some really lovely independent sellers, support local businesses, support small businesses. It is really, really nice to do it that way, but I recommend for brand new people starting at cross stitch is to go with a professional shop first and then come back to Etsy and take a look, and you will be able to tell yourself, hopefully, from the pictures and the descriptions and the reviews and everything like that, if that's something that you want to purchase. Right, so that is all the shops that I can think of that I would personally recommend and where I buy from. There is other places, feel free to have a look around, but they're the ones that I have purchased from, and I know that I'm confident in telling you that they're good places to buy from. So the next part of this video is Facebook groups. Now, I'm only going to recommend 3 because there's loads, okay? And these 3 are kind of centered mostly to nerdy people, because that's what I am. But there's also Heaven and Earth Designs as well. So the first group I would recommend is called Nerdy Cross Stitch Appreciation Society. They have 15,000 members, I believe. Yeah, so they have 15,000 members, and they're a very friendly bunch of people. I would definitely recommend them for when you're first starting out. If nerdy cross stitch is your thing, or modern cross stitch is your thing like mine is, I would definitely recommend them. Then we have Heaven and Earth Designs. Now, I said a little while ago about waiting to hear about their Facebook group. So if you join their Facebook group, they have a lot of free patterns. Okay, every now and again they'll drop a free pattern, so it's worth being in that group. There are so many friendly members in that group that will help you if you're new. You can take a look at people's progress and see if that pattern is for you, because not every pattern from Heaven and Earth Designs comes out that great, especially the minis. So be very cautious of mini patterns. Basically what that means is the pattern shrunk to a smaller size that you can stitch, but it means you're losing a lot of the detail. So if you're a diamond painter, think of it as something that should be 100 by 60 centimeters, shrunk down to a 30 by 40 canvas, you know that it's not going to look great. Some of their minis come out beautiful, but it's always best to go and check on the Facebook group to see if somebody else has done it first, because cross stitch takes so long. You don't want to invest in something that you're not going to like at the end of it. So I highly recommend that Facebook group. And then the last Facebook group I would recommend, which is the biggest one that I'm in, is Cross Stitch Nerdy and Uncentered. Now I will put a picture here. They have 80,000 members. So if you're ever stuck for anything cross stitch related, this is the place to go. Now I know it says Nerdy and Uncensored, so I will warn you that they do share nudity, they do share sexually sexualized cross stitch patterns, things like that. So if that type of stuff offends you, then perhaps don't go there. But if you're okay with all of that stuff, then definitely go there, because anytime anyone's ever had a problem on that page, it's been someone's had a reply for them. They're a lovely bunch of people. I'm always on there. I'm always scrolling through people's like their progress and everything like that. They do a Whip Wednesday over there, like most groups do. And I'm always looking and always seeing new patterns that I want. And they're also really helpful, because I've had a few questions myself on there and people reply straight away. That group is so big. They're a really lovely bunch of people, and that is probably my favourite group. My personal favourite group is Cross Stitch and Nerdy and Uncensored. Okay, so that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you very much for sitting and listening. Obviously there is other Facebook groups, there is other shops online, and what I like might not be what you like. So these are just my personal recommendations, and I hope this has been quite useful and you've found a new shop or a new Facebook group where you can find nice people to communicate with. But I really enjoyed making this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.